Okay, so week 3 of being on my thyroid meds. I'm still off my antidepressants, which I feel like is a win. However, I feel like week 3 was kind of a digression. I did not go to bed early this week, and that was my fault. I felt a huge difference by going to bed around 11, midnight, or 1 rather than 9:30 or 10. I usually wouldn't wake up until about 9:30 with my kids, and when I wake up with the kids, I have a lot less time to myself to get myself ready, to get myself nourished. So, long story short, week 3 was not great due to 2 factors: lack of sleep, lack of nourishment. And here's kind of what happens when I don't have the sleep and the nourishment. I notice energy levels go down. My ability to process mentally goes down. Mentally, I was not doing well. I had probably 3 days worth of deep, severe depression. One day was so bad that I just couldn't really deal with reality anymore. Luckily, my husband came home. He made dinner. He brought me flowers, and he just kind of let me be and let me get to bed early that night. I've just been overwhelmed with trying to get things done. I have severe perfectionism, and I definitely see that now. I am a firstborn child, so I have a lot of that kind of like, you gotta be perfect, be the example, and you don't realize how hard that is, I think, until you're older and you have your own kids, and you realize that type of pressure that had been on your shoulders your whole life. So it may seem like I went off on a tangent, but it kind of has purpose, because leading into week 4, I have a goal of letting go of perfectionism. Obviously, that's going to take a lot longer than just a week, but I just noticed how debilitating it is and how much harder it makes my life. Another goal I have this week is to start working out. I did try this week, in week 3, to do a body weight workout. However, with the separation I have in my abdomen, it is pretty painful to do just about anything, and I just don't know what my limits are. Normally, I never ease into anything. I just want to get started right away, heavy lifting, running, things like that. So I want to work on strengthening all that, but even doing the specific workouts geared towards that does bring pain. So I don't know, I still haven't found something that will help me with that. What I was leaning towards is a lot of breathing exercises and stretches over actual strength conditioning at the moment. And in terms of exercise, I'm going to do more walking. In terms of weight loss, I don't know. I will keep track of weight for week 4, but for my own mental health, week 3 was not a good week for weighing myself. Hopefully by doing this series, I can see a difference and be able to say, like, oh, I did do something. I tried my hardest to get back to where I wanted to be, and I just hope to kind of see some self-improvement, mentally, emotionally, physically, maybe even spiritually in the future if I have enough energy. So thank you, and stay tuned for week 4 right now. This is a new week. You just heard week 3, and now we're on to week 4. Let's talk physical and energy wise. In terms of weight, I'm still in that bubble between 245 to 250. I have not taken any measurements yet, honestly, because I don't really have the exact equipment to do so, and mostly because I forgot. This week I noticed that my energy was all over the place. So the first half of the week, things were going super well. Monday, I got a massage. I usually get one every month just to loosen things up. Also, in the beginning of the week, I was going to bed by about 10 p.m. and getting up at 6:30 a.m. And that made a huge difference. I had tons of energy. I ate early in the morning, lots of protein, and I felt better the rest of the day. I did that 3 days in a row, and then my routine got thrown off. We ended up going to go visit my family 4 hours away, so we're headed out on our road trip to Nampa, which is 4 hours, but we're leaving during dinner time. So we stopped and got some dinner at BK and Subway. On vacation, I have a much harder time getting to bed when I want to, getting up when I want to, and my kids also have a harder time sleeping. Not only did we go on a mini vacation, but Aunt Flo decided to make her monthly visit, and because of that, I've been completely dragging the last few days. My phone died in the middle of that. I had to unplug my little mic to put the charger in, so hopefully it still sounds good. Anyways, all of those things combined just turned into kind of a crappy end of the week. It started off week 5 not so great, but we'll get to that later. One bright point is that my depression has gone down slightly. However, during vacation, my anxiety did go up. But I did go to Walmart and they had journals for sale. One of them was a gratitude journal, and I actually was going to Walmart to buy a journal for that reason, and then they just had one. It was only $2. So that is a sign to do my gratitude journaling. I think it's going to help me, recognize the blessings in my life and to help me find joy and peace and comfort seeing what I'm grateful for every day. So due to vacation, there was a lot of things that got thrown out of whack. One of those being my usual supplements. I did not bring any with me because it was chaos right before we left. So I was scrambling and just did not have time to grab all my supplements. I also didn't get enough movement in, not as much as I wanted. I mostly kind of got stuck watching the baby. Also, my water and protein intake was non-existent. So my wins for the week: getting to bed early and waking up early, feeling more stable mentally and emotionally. And then my challenges from week 4: staying consistent with water and protein, getting enough sleep these last few days, and staying active while traveling and on my period. So I would love to hear from you, anyone out there that is going through the same sort of phase of life. Thanks for joining me on episode 2 of Healing After Baby. If you haven't watched episode 1, you can watch it here. And if you haven't subscribed, over here. And if you want to check out the playlist, right there. Thanks for watching. I hope you like, subscribe, and comment. It really helps me out, and I appreciate it so much. Now I'm going to go to bed so I can get up early.